I'm not good at introductions, so let's start off episode 4 of Set Me Up. Our first submission is DVR147, and while there's usually nothing impressive about digital video recorders, I can't say the same about this man cave. His gorgeous hardware sits inside of the white NZXT Phantom 530 case. The i7 7700K processor beats at the core of this machine, cooled by the Corsair H115i all-in-one water cooler, accompanied by 32GB of G-Skill Trident Z RGB RAM, the EVGA GTX 1080 for the win GPU, and oodles of storage consisting of a 128GB Samsung M.2 SSD, a Samsung 850 EVO SSD, and a 4TB RAID 10 array composed of 4 2TB Seagate drives, all kept fed by the Corsair RM850i power supply. On top of his custom-built desk using tabletop parts from Menards, you'll find his 27-inch 4K BenQ Monitor, Corsair K70 RGB Keyboard, Corsair M65 RGB Mouse, glorious PC gaming race mousepad, Bose Companion 3 speakers, Corsair Void wireless headset in white to match his Star Wars Stormtrooper theme, and 6 Star Wars pop vinyl figures. To continue with theme consistency, his walls are decorated with Star Wars posters and something called fatheads? Not gonna lie, it sounds a little dirty. Potentially related, to the right of his main rig, he's got a 2010 iMac for general web browsing. The last things to note are his GT Omega gaming chair and what man cave can exist without a mini fridge. He uses his setup for gaming, photo and video editing, and general computing. Some notes he added: the setup is in an unfinished basement, though it looks totally good enough for me. And he's big into photography and video games, and then he builds PCs for his friends, which is why a big portion of his desk is left empty on the side. I could probably learn a thing or two about making a good workspace from him. He used to do a lot of streaming, and I can definitely tell with the Shure SM7B sitting up there. That microphone is no slouch. But he's recently taken down all of his audio equipment to promote a cleaner look. I'm super jealous of your workspace, but I'm so glad you entered. Thanks for the submission. Our next entry is Mitch, rocking his clean and bright gaming setup. On his custom-built desk, you'll find his custom water-cooled PC in the customized CoolerMaster HAF922 case, painted in white with custom interior panels, a custom window, a custom power supply cable shroud, a custom GPU backplate, and a custom I/O shield. He's removed the drive base for some fairly extensive water cooling support. Internal components include the AMD FX 8350 CPU, overclocked to 4.62 GHz, the MSI GTX 1080 Aero OC, overclocked to 2100 MHz, 16GB of Kingston HyperX RAM, and 3 240GB Corsair Force SSDs in RAID 0. Peripherals include a 28-inch 4K Asus monitor, the Logitech G110 keyboard, Roccat Tyon mouse, HyperX Cloud 2 headset, and Logitech Z523 speakers. You'll also find figures for Iron Man, the Skull of Diablo, Deadpool, Claptrap, and what better way to make a setup pop than by adding a pop vinyl tracer figure. And then under the desk, you've got some pretty solid cable management, with the exception of his mouse and keyboard for mobility purposes. Some notes to display: he's got the Enthoo platform on the way, with the i7 6700K and water cooling on the tray. Obviously, water blocks from EK. The level of customization is pretty great. Thanks for entering, it was worth the wait. Next up, we have Runar with his black and red theme. His IKEA Alex drawer unit holds his PC, composed of the Phanteks Enthoo Evolv TG case, i7 6700K processor clocked to 4.6 GHz, cooled by the CoolerMaster V8 GTS Giga Big Air Cooler, and the GTX 1070 Phoenix GS from Gainward. On top of the IKEA Bekant desk, you'll find his 24-inch Philips 1080p 144Hz monitor, the Logitech G710 Plus mechanical keyboard, Logitech G Pro mouse, Logitech G640TS-M edition mousepad, and a combo breaker with the HyperX Cloud 2 gaming headset and Roccat Apuri mouse bungee. The setup is used for gaming and Netflix and chill if the girlfriend is in the mood. You know, I never understood that. Why is it called chill if things are only going to get hotter? Anyway, he says he usually keeps the lighting red, but to be honest with you, there's a certain classy look that I really appreciate with that white light. Thanks for entering, Runar, I'm loving the vibe. Sharing his point of view, we have POV Dave, rising up with the first Ryzen submission on the show. His 1700X, cooled by the NZXT Kraken X62 water cooler and a bunch of Air RGB fans, sits in the Corsair R540 case, and it's bundled with the Asus Radeon R9 390 8GB video card, which he plans to upgrade upon the release of Vega. He's also got 16 gigs of Corsair Dominator Platinum RAM fitted with a light bar kit, a 240GB Kingston Predator M.2 drive, a Crucial MX200 500GB SSD, and a 2TB Western Digital Blue drive, all driven by the Phanteks 750W power supply. And then we've got a Codsworth pop vinyl figure perched right on the GPU. Speaking of pop vinyl, he's fixed a vinyl wrap on his hard drive and the Hue Plus for a little more pop. On top of his Christopher Knight Home Delta computer desk, you'll find Dick Butt that I've blurred out for the sake of being family friendly. I know it's not that bad, but I've got to cover my ass. Or his ass, as it were. He's drilled some cable management holes for his Corsair Strafe RGB keyboard and SteelSeries World of Warcraft Cataclysm mouse. You'll also find his 29-inch LG ultrawide monitor, 20-inch Dell monitor oriented vertically, Logitech X230 speakers, Corsair MM300 extended mousepad, his Fallout 3 lunchbox and Fallout 4 Pip-Boy, Fallout Mini Nuke, which he uses as a headphone stand for his COS Pro 4 AAT headphones, his Honer Special 20 harmonica, which he says goes really well with Bose, and I'm inclined to believe him, and his NZXT Hue Plus that he uses for behind his desk. That's a pretty bright idea. Sitting on his PC, he's got the SOAIY Remote Aura Projection LED lamp, which provides some pretty sleek lighting for more Netflix and chill. And there it is again. He said cable management was a pain, but it looks like you did pretty admirably. The setup is used for work, content creation, and a substitute for hallucinogens, which is fair for anything featuring RGB. And then gaming. He wants me to guess the game, and obviously World of Warcraft. What? He's got the mouse and everything. Thanks for entering, I'm loving the Fallout theme. Oh! Our last entry for the video is Joel with the Phanteks Enthoo Evolv case. Inside sits the i7-6700 processor cooled by the NZXT Kraken X31 water cooler and Asus GTX 1060 6GB turbo graphics card with the NVIDIA Claw backplate from V1 Tech. He's also rocking 32GB of Corsair Vengeance LPX RAM, a 250GB Samsung M.2 EVO SSD, extension cables and an LED strip from BitPhoenix, and EK Vardar F4 120mm fans, which all mingle on or around the Asus Z170A motherboard. Peripherals include a 25-inch Dell monitor, the Logitech K70 keyboard, Logitech MX Master mouse, a SteelSeries mousepad, Magnet LZR 588 Bluetooth headphones, and the Phanteks PM0.3D desktop speakers. It's a super clean and super simple setup, and something about looking at it makes me feel at peace with my inner self. Thanks for entering, Joel. I can sleep well tonight. So that's all the entries I have for this one. Thank you for entering if you did, thanks for considering if you did not, and thanks for watching otherwise. If you want to set me up where I show off your setups, check out the description below or check out this video for instructions on how to enter. If you want to help support projects like this, my Patreon link is in the description somewhere, but that's by no means necessary. We are actually pretty close to the second goal, so that's kind of cool. And at this point, I'd like to ask, when I initially set up the Patreon account, I didn't really expect much out of it, so I kind of set up some pretty basic goals. The first one is tech under $10, where I take 5 items in total, and they're under $10 each, and I throw them in a video. And then the next goal is tech under $100, where I take 5 items in total under $20 each, and then toss those in a video. Now my question is this something you guys are okay with, or would you rather like a formal review on one big thing instead of a showcase of smaller things? Or would you rather see how this plays out first? So, that's all I have to say about that. Thanks for watching. My name is Steven, and I am ALittleDIMM. Bye-bye. Cooled by the Corsair H115i all-in-one water cooler. I don't know why I said 115. I usually say 115. It doesn't really make a difference. Oh god, allergies. My eyes are so itchy. 6 Star Wars pop vinyl figures. To continue? I don't know what I said the first time. To continue? Continue, like I have a lisp or something. Uses a setup for uses guys. Use guys. I could probably learn a thing or two. I'm super jealous of your work. Talking is really hard today for some reason. Like I'm just slurring words everywhere. You'll find his custom cold water PC is what I just said. And a combo breaker with the HyperX Cloud 2 gaming with the HyperX Cloud 2 gaming headset and Roccat a Puri or a Puri. Ooh, I'm not sure. I think it's a Puri. I'm gonna go with the Puri and see if anybody makes fun of me for it. And a 2 terabyte weathered. And then we've got a Codsworth GTX 1060 6GB